Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, famous in a small town. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Chad.
Yay! We're happy to have Chad here with us today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chad is the founder and owner, correct?
Correct.
Of Richardson Homes in Commerce, Georgia, and he'll build a custom home for anybody who walks in the door.
Which is really cool. So we're excited to have him today because we're going to ask him all kinds of questions about home building. So when did you first start building homes? How did you get into the industry?
Well, I went from high school into the military, and I actually was a mechanic in the military. When I got out, I realized really quick that's not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. But I did take like woodworking and stuff in high school, and I just had a niche for it. And I got out and just dabbled around different companies, and I've done a little bit of everything. And it's kind of a sad story in the beginning, but turned out to my benefit. For a long time, I didn't know where I wanted to be, so I job hopped a lot, and you know, even my family at times were like, "Are you ever going to settle in anywhere?" You know, but over time, I just picked up on things everywhere I went, and I put it all together, and I did some remodeling and built a couple of homes for family where they pulled the permit over the years. And I was actually umpiring baseball in Commerce, and a friend of mine came up and said, I think you might want to interview with this company and become a superintendent. And it was right after the downturn, and I said, I'm not real sure about that, but he convinced me to go interview, and went and interviewed, got a job. Started out the very next week with Smith Douglas Homes out of Woodstock. Mm-hmm. At that time, they were about 100 to 150 home builder. I stayed there for about 7 years, and we collectively grew the company. Now they're a national company. Mm-hmm. The CFO from Smith Douglas ended up about 7 years ago. He broke away from Smith Douglas and decided to start a home building company, EMC Homes, out of Beaufort. Mm-hmm. And I partnered up with him, and that's when I actually went and actually got my license. And I became the VP of operations there, and he had all the financial backing, and I had the license, and we did that for 4 years to the day. And then I stepped away just over 3 years ago and started Richardson Homes.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That must have been hard to do during COVID. I mean, that was a weird time when all the prices were jacked up. And
yeah, I definitely timed it at a very odd
But you're still
time,
here, and
but
that's
I'm still
good.
here. I've learned a lot of very valuable lessons, but we've survived, and we really feel like this is the turning point for us this year in 25. We've got several lots ahead of us now, and we just got to make it happen.
yeah. So do you buy up acreage and develop subdivisions, or?
No. So I actually, Smith Douglas and EMC, I kind of learned from them. They were going into older neighborhoods that
Right.
never really took off, and buying scattered lots or so. And like my first so-called development was a 5-lot deal in downtown Commerce, Bill
Okay.
Anderson Boulevard.
Okay.
And we actually they were commercial lots, and we had to go through zoning and all.
Right.
And we built 5 homes there, and bought a couple of other lots there in Commerce. But this Toccoa deal that we're in now is my biggest undertaking. I initially bought 1 lot in Ayers Creek subdivision from an individual. Well, then an investor who owned probably 60% of the neighborhood called me, and over about a 6-month back and forth, we came up with something that worked for both of us. So I purchased 12 lots from him.
Wow.
And then we ended up buying another one from an individual. So in Ayers Creek subdivision, we've bought a total of 14 lots. So this is my biggest undertaking as far as neighborhood / development.
So when you do something like buy multiple lots in a neighborhood, do you wait for someone to come who wants you to build a house with their plans, or do you go ahead and then?
We do it all.
Okay.
We do specs, but we also advertise, bring your plan, we'll build your home on our land. And we also, of course, individuals come in and they already own their own property, whether it's family land or whatever, we'll build on their land as well.
Right.
One thing that I pride myself on, I worked for 2 great companies, but they were production home builders. And I'm more of a hands-on guy. And especially when I became VP of EMC Homes, I couldn't sleep at night knowing that I had 7 superintendents under me and I wasn't able to be in each house every day. And I made a very good living there, but just over that 4-year span, I wanted to know every part and piece that was going into the houses that were under my license. So I now have 2 superintendents, but I'm in the houses weekly. I'm constantly looking at builder trend and keeping up with what's going on. So I like to think that I'm a lot more hands-on than most of your builders out here, especially, and some builders are building, 5 or 6 houses a year. They don't really necessarily need a superintendent, but if you start hitting, we're in about the 20 to 25 range, and you need extra hands, and I still get in each house.
Right. That's great. So just for my own personal knowledge, when you're a builder and you get licensed, do you have to do continuing education?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it yearly, every 3 years?
It's every 3 years. Continuing education's every 3 years, and you can pretty much take anything construction related, but some of your continuing ed can be online, and then some has to be in person as well.
I'm a realtor, so I do some.
Yeah.
I do some in person, some
Right.
online.
Yeah.
I love to do them online though.
Yeah, much easier, much easier.
I can stay in your jammies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what's up with the price of a 2x4? I mean,
Right?
I mean,
It's inconsistent, I can tell you that.
every time I go to buy something for anything I'm working, I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
When Home Depot starts calling you saying, hey, you've got to come on in, and you're on their,
Preferred list.
yes. I'm like, I'm in here too much. But everything's so, as a builder, you're buying in obviously bigger volume than I buy, but do y'all get a discount on that, or how do you?
I do get discounts, and that's where I'm very fortunate with my past history. I worked a lot in Gwinnett County, and I built a lot of relationships out there, and I made good relationships. So when I branched out, a lot of my vendors were still giving me pricing as if I were building 150 houses a year, and that's
That
what's helped me a lot. But also, I'm not out here, I'm just out here trying to make a living. I'm not out here trying to make bank off of every job. So unfortunately for me, but good for the customer, a lot of times I incur some of the extra cost. And people tell me that's bad business, and it may be sometimes, but at the same time I look at it that my name's on the company and my name is everything. So I just always daily try to do what I feel like is the right thing. Yes.
All right, so let me ask you this. A spec home versus a person that comes in with their plans. What's the difference, and which one is more difficult for you?
It's definitely when the customer brings their own plan.
Yeah.
We're studying every day to try to figure out how to manage through that the best way. It's very difficult, but with us being the size that we are, we have to take those builds on right now. The spec home, we get to pick it all, within reason. Like I will still, if someone comes up during the build and wants to change colors or whatever, if I hadn't ordered it, that's fine. But basically a spec build, you come into our office, we have selections, you pick from A, B, or C, we finish the house, and it's a done deal. Unfortunately, on what I call our semi-custom, custom farmhouses, whatever you want to call it, A lot of people actually will come in the office thinking they know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And when we start building, they realize they really didn't know what they wanted. And it's very hard, and it gets discouraging at times, but you know, it's like anything in life. You have some really great customers and everybody's happy at the end, and then sometimes it's just, you know, you end kind of with a sour taste, but it's hard to like tell a landowner, well, you don't need to do this, or you shouldn't do this, or no, we're not
telling
putting
you.
this in. Yeah.
Trust me here.
Yeah. But it's a challenge, but, you know, we're striving daily, like I said, to better our processes. We have selection sheet that when we started, it was like 2 pages. Now it's maybe 6 pages.
Oh, wow.
Because we've learned over time, well, maybe we should have asked this question. Where the spec homes, you could build it off of a 2-page selection sheet and have no problems. The custom homes, a lot more detailed.
Right.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
Who's worse, the men or the women? When it's a custom home. I know what he's going to say. He's going to say women.
It's definitely the women.
Yeah, okay. I knew it. I just had to say
We
that.
want what we want,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and we want it yesterday.
Yeah, but we change our minds. Do you when it's a woman involved? Do you explain what a change order is up front?
We try, but a lot of times it goes in one ear and out the other until you send that bill. What is this for? Well, you made this change.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's, you know, it's a mixed bag sometimes.
Yeah.
But I would say the women seem to be in more control of. They're getting what they want.
There you go.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, yeah,
it works
'cause
out.
if
right?
Mama ain't happy,
Yeah,
Nobody's
that's right.
happy.
That's right. Yeah.
Aw. That's really neat. It's good to actually know a builder in our area.
I know.
You know, and somebody that they can call and
yeah, I'm excited.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how might they do that?
Our office number is 706-224-9708. We have Facebook, Richardson Homes. We also have a website, richardsonhomesga.com. Or you can come in our office Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 399 South Elm Street, Commerce, Georgia, 30529.
Wow. So you can just walk into your office.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that's amazing because there's a lot of, you can't do that.
No.
And it's like you call, nobody ever calls back. You call again.
It's a recording. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
I prefer when people come into our office. A lot of times, someone will call and ask questions, and I actually want to sit down and meet the person well before we ever set a plan in place, just to kind of get a feel for
Right.
who we are and who they are, what they're looking for. I would much rather do a face-to-face.
That's wonderful. And that's refreshing, actually.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
I'm so glad to meet you.
Thank you.
I really am. And we got to meet your office manager, Stacy David. She was a delight. And that's actually, she's the one who recommended we talk to you, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
We've got a
me
new
too.
friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget us.
I won't.
Wait a minute, is that good or bad?
Oh, God, those crazy ladies.
Well, we really do appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here today.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. And we thank y'all for listening to us once again for another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Chad.
And y'all call him up and get the most beautiful home in the world. Yeah. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See you next time.